Greetings, my name is Kerry and welcome back to my channel. So we're here at the start of 2022 and I have a number of videos coming wrapping up 2021 and setting my intentions for 2022. I have a couple of things that I didn't get time to edit for the end of 2021, which I'll be incorporating into new videos, so just bear with over the next couple of weeks while I get back into some kind of reasonable routine. All of which to say today is my January TBR, because I need to plan what I'm reading in January. I basically have lots of goals for my reading for the next year, so some of those might get mentioned today, but there will be a video coming soon that is going to explain them more. I feel really out of practice, so this is just like, I mean, my brain is confused and I am tired today, so please bear with. Right, let's just go into what I'm going to be reading in January. Right, so we're doing Cluedo picks because it helps me structure my reading. So I'm quickly going to go through what I managed to read in December, and I'm going to very quickly wrap up the Christmas readathon as well, and then we're going to go into what I'm going to be reading in January, because it gets a bit complicated this month and you'll see why very soon. Okay, so I drew 6 cards for December because I had 3 of the same type of card. So I would usually draw 5 cards, and if I get 3 of the same type of card I have to draw an extra card. So that gave me 6 books for my Cluedo TBR, and then I also set a separate TBR for the Christmas readathon which had some overlap. I'm just going to say first, actually, I finished 5 books for prompts for the Christmas readathon. Some of them overlap with Cluedo ones, so I will mention them. I think there was maybe 1 or 2 that didn't fit in with the prompts, but all got changed for the prompts. Anyway, yeah, let's go through what I read. So I had Miss Scarlet, which is a mood read with red on the cover, and so for this I picked Miss Marley. I didn't pick Advanced, just read it as a mood read. I also used this for Christmas readathon as a book that was at the top of my TBR. Wasn't the prompt I originally planned it for, but that's the one it best fitted because I'd already read a book for the prompt that I planned that one for. I had Mrs. Peacock, which is mood read, a book with blue on the cover, so I think for that one I'm going for Thunderhead, kind of bluey greeny, but I would say that's more blue than green. So I was reading this as part of the Last Read book club anyway. We're working through the Arc of the Scythe series, but I also used this for the Cracker prompt for Christmas readathon, which was a book with surprises or twists. Then we had Professor Plum, which is mood read, a book with purple on the cover, and for this I read Stay Another Day by Juno Dawson. So this was the optional group book for Christmas readathon, and I used it for the prompt Tinsel, which was a book with a sparkly cover. We then had Spanner, which is a science fiction book, and for this I read Raven's Stratagem by Yoon, which is science fiction, and I also used this for the star prompt for the Christmas readathon, which was read a science fiction or speculative fiction book. So that worked out pretty well. For kitchen prompt, this was the only one actually I think that didn't double up for Christmas readathon in the end of the ones I finished. So this was to read a book less than 250 pages, and I read God Help the Child, which I've already taken back to the library. It was my first time reading Toni Morrison. I hadn't realised actually it was the final book she published, so I'm really excited to read more of her books in the future. But yeah, so that was for the kitchen prompt. And then the final one I read for Christmas readathon, before I get on to my final one for Cluedo picks, was for the Candy Cane prompt, which was to read a sweet or cozy book, and I ended up reading Tokyo Ever After by Emiko for that. It wasn't on the TBR originally, but it was one I had out as an ebook from the library. The only prompt I didn't finish for Christmas readathon was the tree prompt, which was to read a book featuring nature or sat outside. So I got about halfway through the blood print, which is over there, so I'll put the picture up of the cover. I didn't quite have time to finish it, but very much enjoying it, and hopefully we'll finish it this month. I should do. Anyway, so I had one more card, Lead Piping, that I drew for December, and the book I was meant to read for that was Secret She Left Behind. I didn't get to it. I finished Thunderhead at about 11 o'clock on the 31st of December, and I was debating, do I read the first chapter of this just to say that I've read the first chapter, but it kind of felt like that was against the mood. I wouldn't feel quite right about it if I'd claim that, because if I started a book it counts as reading it, but yeah, I wasn't going to just pick it up for the sake of saying I read it. That means I have to draw my forfeit card in a minute. I will also be trying to read this in January, but what I'm going to do is try and put it into another prompt if I can. If I can't fit into another prompt, then it will still be on the TBR, but it won't carry the forfeit weight anymore. So what happens with my forfeits? This is the first time I've had the forfeit come up since I changed the system. I changed the system about a year ago. When I first started doing Cluedo picks, I would change the murder card every month, regardless of whether I'd met the challenge or not. But I decided actually it'd be more fun if I made it so that if I was successful, I wouldn't reveal the card, so that every month that I achieve my goal, I get more clues as to what the murder card is. So that's what I've been doing. I think there were 8 months over the last year where I used Cluedo picks, and that has given me a fair number of clues, although I did get a lot of repeat cards coming up, so I've been able to narrow it down to being 5 cards that this murder card could be. If I guess correctly, then I don't have to do the forfeit, which is read a book for that prompt. The cards that it could be a weapon card, so it could be the rope card, which would be read a classic. It could be a person card, and it could be Mrs. White, which would be mood read a book with white on the cover. And then there were 3 room cards that haven't come up, so ballroom, which is pick a book based on iTunes Shuffle, a book associated with whatever song comes up first on iTunes Shuffle. Hall, which is read a new release, a book that comes out this year. And dining room, which is read a diverse book, so a book from an author that is not a white cisgendered woman from the UK. It could be one of those 5 cards. I've decided I'm going to be strategic about this because for 4 of those prompts, I have books that I can read for them. But one of them is a complete wild card. If this is the ballroom card, then I could end up reading anything. Whereas for the other 4 prompts, even when I was thinking about this, I was like, well, the Hall card, it was a book that comes out this year, but actually I have arcs that come out over the next couple of months that I need to get to. So I'd be able to use it for that. And for all of those other prompts, I already have a book in mind that I could use, or at least some idea of a book that I could use. But if it's the ballroom and I have to do iTunes Shuffle, then it's going to be, yeah. Anyway, so my prediction is strategic. I'm going to strategically predict that this is a ballroom because that is the prompt I least want to do. If it's any of the others, then that's fine. So we're going to reveal it now. This is scary. Okay, here we go. And it's actually the Hall. Okay, so my first book that I'm going to have to read in January is going to be a book that comes out this year. So I'm just going to double check on NetGalley what my next thing or my next thing coming out is, because I think I've got one that comes out in January that I haven't read yet, but I don't think I've got time to read and review it before it comes out now. So I think we're going to go for a book that comes out in February. Okay, so the book we're going to go for is called The Embroidered Book by Kate Heartfield. So I'm going to put a picture up of that. That comes out on the 17th of February. So if I can read that in January, then I can get the review done and ready to go for that release date. So that's my first book for January. So that's exciting. So now we have all the rest of the cards are back in play. I'm going to draw 5 more cards. Hopefully I don't end up with 3 of a kind, because then I'll have to draw an extra bonus card. But I have long lists of books that are on my TBR for the year, which I'm going to explain more in a future video, that I can pick from. Yeah, let's see how we get on. So first card is The Lead Piping. So that's contemporary, which is good because I can use that straight away for Secret She Left Behind again, and can try again to read that one this month, which means it will be a forfeit again if I don't read it this month. Okay, so that's 1. Well, that's actually 2, but that's 1 draw. Okay, draw number 2 is Dining Room. Dining Room is diverse book. And I said I had something in mind for this, and now I can't remember what it was. It's really helpful. Oh, I know what, yeah, I do remember what it was. Manhandling it. Okay, so the book that I was going to pick up for this was The Book of Memory by Petina Gappah. So the author is from Zimbabwe, and it will count towards my read around the world. I've had it out from the library for a little while, so I want to get to it fairly soon. So that's good. I can put that on the TBR for January. 3 more cards. I already have 2 room cards, so that's a bit worrying. Next we have, okay, Reverend Green. That's helpful. That means I can mood read a book with the green on the cover, and I have a couple of things I'm kind of intending to get to anyway, or like the blueprint I'm partway through has green on the cover, so that's fine. That's really helpful. I'm really glad that I made the decision last year to turn those into mood read cards. Okay, 2 more. Ugh. Dagger. Dagger is fantasy, and I think I have something in mind that I want to read for this as well. I think it's fantasy. Okay, so we've got The Queens of Innis Lear by Tessa Gratton. This is a fantasy novel inspired by King Lear by Shakespeare, which is a play that I really love. I've been meaning to read this for ages. I've had it out for the library, getting to the point where I can't renew it again. So good to try and pick this one up for this prompt. It is a bit chunky, but that is okay. We can cope. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, one more card, and hopefully it will be another character card, because otherwise I'll have to draw an extra one. Okay, here we go. Yes! Oh, the cards are being nice to me today. Okay, so that is Professor Plum. That's Mood Reader book with purple on the cover. That is definitely doable. I am quite happy about that, because yeah, it gives me options. That is amazing. I didn't think that was going to happen. So here we go. These are my 6 cards. I've got 3 physical books here, and I've got the 1 ebook already in mind. Okay, what I'm going to do next, before I forget, is I'm going to draw a new murder card. So I'm going to shuffle these. I've got the envelope here. I'm going to close my eyes and hold up the card so you can all see it, but I can't. That is going to go in the envelope, and that is in the envelope now for editing Kerry, so that I don't accidentally see it when I'm editing. So we're going to start the process again now of collecting clues. I helpfully already have 6 clues, which is really nice. Yeah, so that's the new murder card. Just a couple more books to tell you about that I'm going to try and get to. I think because it's January and I haven't had a chance to go through all the lists yet. Like, I've created some specific TBR lists, but you don't know about them yet. So I'm not going to pick a book for each of those lists this time. That will start from next month. But a couple of the books that I'm intending to get to do help towards those lists anyway, so that's fine. 2 other books that I'm going to try and read. Well, I'm gonna get it now actually. I mentioned I'm partway through The Blood Print, which was on my Christmas readathon TBR, so I will be trying to finish that. I've also just started Iron Widow, which is our Space Irons book club pick for January. It was originally our pick for November, but life happened and we got a bit out of sync with ourselves. So we've got a plan for the next couple of months to try and be a bit more organised. So this is our January book. We'll be having a live show for it at the end of January. We don't have the date for that yet, but as soon as we do, I will let you know that. And keep an eye on our social media and join our Discord if you want to buddy read it. As I said, I'm reading it at the moment, probably still will be by the time you see this, because I'm hoping to get this video edited in the next couple of days and live for you. So I'm trying to read 7 chapters a day, starting from the 1st of January, which at this point was a couple of days ago. I haven't managed that so far, so I've got a bit of catching up to do today. It's actually due back at the library on Saturday coming, and it's been really popular, so I know I won't be able to renew it, so I do need to try and finish it this week. So that's that one. And then the other book club that I mentioned earlier is the Last Read book club, which I am taking part in at the moment. I probably won't do everything that they read, but if it aligns with my interests, then I will. So the January book for that is The Toll, which is the final part of the Arc of the Scythe trilogy. I enjoyed Scythe. I really enjoyed Thunderhead. I mean, enjoyed isn't necessarily the right word, because I was emotionally devastated by the end of that book. So I'm super excited to read The Toll. It's another chunky one. I don't know what is going to happen, but I'm really glad I finally picked this series up, because I've been avoiding it because of the hype, and so I'm glad to finally be getting to it now. That is it. That is everything I'm intending to read in January. As I mentioned, there are lots of videos coming soon. I'm trying to get back into a bit more of a rhythm. So we've got my November and December wrap-ups, which will probably be 1 video. We've got my last couple of recent reads videos of the year, which I'll probably again merge into 1 video, but it'll be a bit longer because I filmed some that I haven't had time to edit yet. And then we're going to have my 2021 wrap-up and 2022 goals. So all of those things coming soon, and then a specific challenge that I'm going to be doing in 2022, which is to do with my TBR, which will explain some of the stuff that I've hinted at today. But I think that's everything that I need to do for my January TBR. Here's what I'm trying to read in January. There's a good stack. I'm excited. That's all I have to say. So let me know if you've read any of those books and what you thought of them. Let me know some of what you're planning to read in January. Or if you just want to let me know that you've been here, you can leave me a Let's go for a flower emoji, because quite a few of these books have flowery things on the cover. So leave me some sort of flower related emoji in the comments if you just want to let me know that you've been watching today but can't think of anything specific you want to say. You can also like this video if you liked it and subscribe if you would like to hear more from me. You can also follow me on my social media. All that information is listed for you in the description box below. But that's it for today, so thank you so much for watching and I will talk to you again soon. Bye!